Welcome to the Bible Conversations podcast. Our focus for conversation starters this year is going to be practical tips on how to begin a conversation with someone about the Bible and about Jesus. We hope that you will find some helpful information in these short segments that will enable you to share your faith with others. Today's conversation starter is going to be centered on talking to somebody who is an atheist. In other words, someone who is an atheist, someone who does not believe that a in front of the theist means without, right? And so without God, someone who does not believe that God exists. Well, that's a difficult conversation to have, to try to share your faith, your love of God with somebody who does not even believe that God exists. It would almost be akin to sharing with somebody how much you appreciate the sun with somebody who doesn't believe that a sun is even in existence, or the moon, or water, or grass, right? It's something to us that is so intrinsic to life. And yet, for the atheist, God is a non-entity. God is not real. And so how do we go about talking with somebody who is an atheist? Well, I believe there are a few ways in which we can do that. And primarily what we need to do is we need to use logic in order to convince them that maybe they are wrong. Now, we don't want to do this in an argumentative or combative way. Sometimes that happens. I know people in the Brotherhood used to debate quite often with those who are atheists, but how we go about doing this is arguably more important than what we say. And so make sure if you have these conversations, you're doing so in love, you're doing so with kindness, with grace, that you are attempting to persuade them without attempting to insult them. And so what can we talk about? Well, we can certainly talk about the archaeological finds throughout history. There are many. They are plenty. We can discuss any number of those. And you can look at apologeticspress.com to find all sorts of different, resources to research and to find these different archaeological finds. We can look at how the history is corroborated through the scriptures. We have just been talking about in Bible class Ezekiel and how the Babylonians invaded Judah on a specific day, and it's written in Ezekiel that specific day is the day that it happened. And so we can find history corroborates Scripture. But the one thing I want to talk about today is a two-parter, and it is the cosmological and teleological arguments. Now, the cosmological arguments details how there are three ways in which the universe exists. Either it has always existed and always will exist. It was either created out of nothing, and therefore it exists today, but it will die eventually, or something created it and it will eventually pass away. Well, the first one does not make sense because of entropy. We know that things die, right? We understand that things in this life, they die, they pass away, and therefore it cannot have always existed because it will not always exist. It is dying, and therefore it had to have a beginning. The second part of that is that it was created out of nothing. In other words, the Big Bang Theory, right? Some force created this universe in which we reside, and the problem with that is you cannot create order out of chaos. You cannot have something come from nothing. It's not possible. It has never happened in the history of the world. And so to reduce the laws that we know for one instance that is not supernatural does not make sense. And so then that leaves us with the third option, is that something created the universe. And so we have, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created, right? And so this is certainly a logical explanation of why we have the universe. And the second one is the teleological, which deals with, essentially it's the creator argument, the designer argument, which states that everything around us that we see has a design to it. And because it has a design to it, that means that there must be a designer. And so you simply need to look no further than the human body to find that. But you can look at a chair, you can look at a table, you can look at the trees that are outside, everything that that we see has a design and therefore must have a designer. I encourage you, study up on these, learn about these, and be able and ready to talk about them with somebody who is an atheist. Be willing to share your faith through logic as well as through the scriptures. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you, and I hope that this has sparked a desire in you to learn about some of these arguments, but also to be able to talk with them and to talk to others about them. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to this conversation starter. We appreciate your desire to share your faith with others, and we hope that this episode has been of benefit to you. If you would like to reach us, please email us at kcocbibleconversations@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by simply searching Bible Conversations. Please check back in on Fridays for our full episode.